Alright, you guys, so the fastest way to lose weight. You guys already know that the mind is the most important thing, because the mind is actually what decides to eat the right things. It's what decides whether or not you're going to go to the gym. So the most important thing is to have your mind in the right state of mind. So the first step is changing your identity. Your identity is your beliefs about yourself, and you're always going to do things that are congruent with beliefs about yourself. So most of us, especially if you've gone through a lot of the yo-yo dieting like I have, I started to have the identity that I tried a lot. I'm always working on weight loss, but I was not good at following through. I always fall off the wagon. And as long as you keep telling yourself that, you're consistently going to repeat the same actions. It's like, if you're a funny person, probably somewhere around the time you were in middle school, somebody was like, oh, you're so funny. And you kind of took on that identity, like, oh, I guess I do make people laugh. And so here's the thing. In order to create a belief about yourself or change a belief about yourself, we need to see proof. That's just kind of how we work. Like, you know, we can't just say things to ourselves and make it happen. We've got to think the thing, and then we have to see the action. We have to see the actual proof. So if someone tells you you're funny, you kind of think the thought, and then next time you make somebody laugh, you're like, you know, I am funny. Like, and the more you do that, the more ingrained that identity becomes. So the more you try to really lose weight and then fall off the wagon, the more that identity really starts to form. So you have to start believing that, sorry guys, you have to start believing that you are the person, you're the kind of person that has the ability to get fit, lose weight, and keep it off for good. And how you can do that is, number one, if you've already lost weight before, you know you can do it. So always look back to the proof, looking in the past and finding proof of, or evidence of, the identity or the self-image really helps a lot. And then if you've never really felt like you've been skinny at all in your life, here's something you can do. Go back and research on the internet successful weight loss stories. You'll find millions, maybe not millions, but you'll find a ton of successful weight loss stories of people who've been overweight their whole life. And the more stories you read about that, the more people you see their transformation, the more you realize it's possible, you see the evidence, and then you're more likely to follow through with it. Alright, the next step is to change your beliefs about being skinny or being fit. We always do things that are in line with our beliefs about a thing, whether we realize it or not. So if we see people who are fit and thin as narcissistic, or not saying that you do, but if we believe that, if we believe people who are fit and in shape are narcissistic, or they're full of themselves and all they care about is materialistic things, and you believe that those things are not what make you who you are. You don't believe yourself to be narcissistic. You believe yourself to be a giver, a lover, thinking of other people first. As long as those two things don't match, it's going to be really hard to lose the weight. Sorry guys, I also just wanted to mention in here real quick that this is why, if you've ever lost weight and you started to feel like, okay, I'm starting to, like, you know, I can see a difference, I'm starting to feel skinny, and it's a drastic change of what you used to be. That's why subconsciously you'll start to pull back from the things you're doing that are working towards your goals. You'll start to eat things that that won't help your goals, and you'll start inching away from it. And once I found this out, I looked back and it was always the case. Once I started to feel like I was getting skinny, I would always self-sabotage, and that's the reason why. So in order to change that belief, you have to find evidence for the opposite. So think of people you know who are fit and in shape and are not like that, who are kind, giving, they're not all about looks, they're not all about the materialistic things. Or if you don't know anybody like that, think of another kind of stereotype that we place things on. Like, we place things like people who have a lot of money are really egotistical, really full of themselves. Well, I know a lot of people who have a lot of money that you would never know that they had a ton of money. They're just the most, like, down to earth, you know, they don't wear designer clothes. Find the proof of things that do not fit the stereotypes, and you'll realize, like, personalities come in all different shapes, sizes, financial backgrounds, all of that. So change your beliefs about that. The third step is to change your self-talk. If you talk really negative about yourself, it's going to be hard to do it, because we do things that we feel good about. If somebody says, oh, you're a really good listener, it makes us want to do more. If someone says you're really, or if you feel like you're really bad at losing weight, it does not sound like something fun to do. So you want to make things, you want to talk to yourself in a positive way. So for me, one of the biggest habits I had was when I'd go into a gym, I'd feel like, okay, these people are thinking, oh, she's obviously a newbie, or just, you know, all these negative thoughts. And once I realized how important the mindset was, how important it was, how we talk to ourselves, I started to change those things. And I started to say, okay, what do I think about what I'm doing? Let's put the importance on what I think about this thing is more important than what I think others think about it. So what do I think about it? So I've been trying to get in the gym for years, and I'm finally in here doing it. Like, I haven't lost weight yet, but yay, I'm finally doing the dang thing. And just like when I set my goal for 10 minutes, I'll do my 10 minutes and then I'll say, you know what, I can do 10 seconds more, and I'll do 10 seconds more, and I'll feel good about it. So it's really just about changing that self-talk, and the best way to do that, because it's not easy. One, if we're in the habit of kind of putting ourselves down, it's really hard because it's a habit. So the first thing you do is acknowledge that you're saying negative things. And then think about why you're saying those things. Why would I be saying that? Well, it's not even true. What I think someone else is thinking is completely imaginary. I'm just making it up. So then you shift it to what you think about a thing. Right, so this actually leads us into the fourth step, which is self-love, talking about valuing your own opinions first. So this is super important, and this really lines up with step number 3, which is positive self-talk. Now, positive self-talk doesn't mean that you ignore your feelings. If you feel bad about something, you try to ignore it and pretend it's not there. You want to always honor your feelings. If you're feeling really bad, that's where you want to like dissect this. Well, why do I feel bad about this? Should I even really feel bad about this? Once you understand it, then you can say, oh, that's false. So then you can dismiss it. But you want to always honor your feelings, put your feelings first. And I think that's why a lot of us have problems or have low self-esteem, is because we constantly try to ignore our feelings. If we feel bad about something, we don't want to upset anybody and rock the boat, so we push our own feelings back. And whether we realize it or not, subconsciously, that's saying to ourselves, this person's needs come before mine. And when we do that over and over again, it makes us feel like less than somebody else. So always honor your feelings. And going into being able to talk to people about things you don't agree with, there's ways, and it takes time to learn how to communicate what you need, what you want, without having to be, overly confrontive. You can do it in tactful ways. Always honor your feelings. So if you feel good about something, let yourself feel good about something. If you feel bad about something, let yourself feel bad about it. If you feel bad for binge eating, say, okay, I feel bad about binge eating. Now why? Why do I feel bad about it? Understand that. So then you can say, well, because I know I'm better than that. I know I want different things for myself. And then that's how you shift it from a negative to a positive, right? Because you're letting yourself feel what you want to feel, but then you're spinning it around and saying, it's because I want better things. I have a desire for good things in my life. So be aware of the negative thoughts, then understand where they come from. Only you can answer where they come from, and then you can figure out how to flip it, how to make it better, how to make it a positive and an opportunity for you to grow and be better. All right, you guys, the last step, and probably the most important step, is repetition, because things only happen over time. We're always moving in a direction either towards what we want in different areas of our life or away from it. So if you're taking one step forward and 5 steps back, you're ultimately moving in the direction of back, right? So the important thing is consistency and repetition. Now, you want to make it easy for you to repeat it every day. So I would start with doing it 1 time a day. So making sure that at least once a day you're acknowledging your thoughts. If it's negative self-talk, acknowledging them, and then understanding why and flipping it around to a positive. Oh, sorry guys. Go ahead, bud. So always, repetition is really important. Also, one thing I meant to mention in the positive self-talk is one of the things that really helped me, I don't do this anymore, but for probably about 2 months, every single morning I would wake up and I would write a list of all of my wins from the day before. No one has to see this but you, so it can be as silly as you want. I called my mom and made her smile. I did my dishes. I folded all of my laundry. Whatever it is, that was wins for you. And it was hard for me to do at first because I, had this running self-talk of things that I wish I could change and things that I wanted to do better, all of that. So it's kind of hard, but then once you get going, it becomes a lot easier, and it's a lot easier to make it a habit. So repetition is really important because it really is what solidifies the beliefs, what solidifies the identity, it solidifies the self-talk. And then especially with the self-talk, because when you're talking positive to yourself, it encourages you to go to the gym, it encourages you to eat things. And once you change all of this, if you follow all 5 of these steps, then it's once you start doing your dieting and your exercise, you guys, it's less of a forceful feeling like trying to make yourself do something, and it's more of an attractful, I think, feeling like you feel just pulled to do it, and it's so much easier. I remember the video I did when I felt this, and I was like, you guys, I don't know, I just feel like so much emotionally lighter. So if you follow all 5 of these steps, it's going to make it so much easier. And especially with the repetition, start small. At least do one thing a day, and it'll grow and grow and grow. So I hope this video helped you guys. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, what your thoughts are.